Hello, I'm Claudell Clark, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau of Greater Hampton Roads. I have with me today Miss Brandi Finley of Cherished Home LLC, Managing Partner, Director of Operations. Good morning to you.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's my understanding you've been accredited since 2021 or
Yes,
so.
yes.
Long time accredited business, and just welcome to the Coach's Corner.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Gotcha. So just again, one of our esteemed accredited businesses. And as you know, the Coach's Corner talks about people with teams, leaders of teams such as yours, and how that leadership transcends into coaching, right? And any kind of sports background you have, or if you just love sports or have a favorite team, you know those coaches go through the very same things that organizational leaders do, right?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the inspiration and the motivation for this show. And at first, people say, well, how do things correlate? But as we got into some of the conversations, it's like, wow, the recruitment, the retention, the motivation, the rewarding of the team, it kind of went hand in hand. So please tell me a little bit more about Cherished Home Services and what you all do.
Well, Cherished Home Services has been around since 2016.
Okay.
We started home care not too long ago. We was in another industry before then, but still home health. So with home care, what we do is we bathe, we dress individuals, we give them enrichment activities as well. We take them to doctor's appointments. We also help them with transferring in and out of bed into their wheelchairs and so forth. We help with individuals, to kind of lead on, we help with individuals that are disabled and also are elderly. So that's what we do. We're also Medicaid providers, so we have state funding that helps individuals who may not be able to, have the funds to have those type of services, get funding from Medicaid, so we can have our personal care service caregivers come out and provide care.
Good. So you talked about the Director of Operations position that you have, and you shared with me as we're kind of warming up before the show, you had almost 40 staff members or employees underneath your watch.
Absolutely.
What a great responsibility.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
That's a big team. That's almost a football team, right? And so just give me some thoughts that come to your mind when you have to prepare for that number of persons, or when you have to communicate with them or get them moving in the right direction. What comes to mind when you're leading a group that large?
Yeah, well, first it starts out with a system. And like you said, football. I love football, but I'm more of a basketball. But for the most part, it takes a system and it takes team leaders. And I do have, our organization has team leaders, and we always are putting things into play. We're working on the play script or the playbook every single day. We have a meeting every single day, and that helps us put that play script together or our playbook together for the day. We're looking at call outs, we're looking at scheduling, we're looking at how we can communicate with this individual, talk about caregivers to cover maybe a shift with a call out. We have all type of systems within a system. And I think that's what makes us be able to get through the day. We're not talking about, we're talking about just through the day, which is more important when you're dealing with that mass of people.
How do you evaluate and how do you monitor the progress of that many people?
Well, we have a system that is all
system
computer.
Again.
System. Everything is system.
Right.
But we are monitoring all dashboards. We're monitoring clock ins and clock outs. We're making sure everybody is just getting where they need to be. We have very intelligent AI-driven systems that allow us to monitor individuals on locations. So it does get a little bit technical and more in the computer world of technology.
That's all right.
But it's helpful for our agency to keep us on top of things every single day.
And as you evaluate these persons, they will sometimes come into the organization and move on from the organization. How have you worked to retain that good team that you have?
Yes, employee retention. We talk about it almost every other day because this is a high turnover rate industry. So we know that individuals come in the door and out the door. our goal is to try to, one thing for sure is that we learned is that our client and also our employee are customers, and we will always treat them as a customer. So if we know that much, then we're good to go. So we're gonna treat them with respect because they're the ones that's making things happen for our company. And we also made sure that, we have little incentives and morale boosters to help. We give out bonuses. We do reflect on those who are hard workers, which are all of our staff are hard workers. And that's just what we do.
Well, it sounds like you just have a great team and a great assistant coaches and a great team of leaders. So you have this team moving in the right direction, and Cherished Homes has grown and been successful, but regulations change, as we talked about.
Absolutely.
Laws change, leadership and politics change. How do you professionally develop and stay current with all that information and all that compliance? And then how do you keep your staff and your assistant coaches up to speed?
Yes. So when you are working with the provider at Cherished Homes, working with them, you start to learn, you have to tap into a lot of what's going on. If you're a Medicaid provider, you got to tap in on getting those emails and, keeping up with the bulletins. And they send out the messages. They really do give us the information. It's just more of us keeping up to par with it. And there are new regulations for 2026 that have, they're going to be effective pretty soon. And we have to read up on it. We're also contracted with a lot of insurance companies. So with that being said, they have their new regulations too. And when you're working with, they're called MCOs when you're dealing with Medicaid. You got Medicaid and then you got MCOs. Those are the insurance companies that I'm speaking on, and those are managed care organizations. So with that being said, when you're tapping in with those folks, you got to keep up to par with their emails. They do send out emails. So just keeping yourself educated on what's going on.
Right. So we also talked about recruitment of the good staff you have and professional development on that side. But as with any business, you had to bring in more business, bring in more clients, bring in more customers. So you've retained and recruited these employees. How do you business develop and recruit new business?
Okay, well, the way we do that is definitely number one through trust. And, being very attentive on responding fast to our individuals. We don't need to leave nothing on the table. We made sure that if we do have an individual employee that we are, wanting to hire, we made sure that we work fast, efficient. We made sure we stay competitive with our salaries. Those are the things that we need to do, making sure that they get their schedules, all of those things. Now, from the client aspect of it, it's the same thing. It's almost the same, just making sure that you are trustworthy and you're responding to their concerns. You're making sure that you have your policies together. If there is a complaint, making sure that those things are followed through accordingly. And that's pretty much how it goes, system.
Right. So, it's been successful with your employees. Sounds like the business has grown since 2016 or when you said the inception date was, and certainly have grown since you've been accredited. You talked about the trust just now.
Absolutely.
Cherished Homes and BBB coming together to have this trustworthy kind of book of business. Kind of moving forward, how do you define success for the organization? Is that just some financial goal that you had or new clients, or what defines success? And then that kind of leads us to our next question. Through those ups and downs, how do you guide your team so as not to ride that roller coaster, but kind of stay even keeled through the ups and down years? But the first part of that is, how does Cherished Home define success?
Well, success to Cherished Homes, from the culture, we have built a culture.
Good word.
So with our culture, we are not worried about the financial part. That's the end goal. What we worry about is building trust. Like I said before, building relationships with our clients and with our team. We're a team. Nobody's here, we're all on the same equal platform. So when you have that type of culture, then that makes things a little bit more successful. So the financial part is here, but we're worried more about building those relationships at the end of the day.
And if that happens and the culture is in place, as business owners know, these other things are going to fall in line.
Yeah.
They really will. They're so neat and so timely that you use that word.
Yeah.
How do you get through the tough times? We do have economic swings, political swings, industry swings. How do you keep your assistant coaches? How do you keep your employees, your partners even? And then how do you keep yourself? How do you keep yourself positioned for the next upswing and the next good opportunity when things are tough?
Okay.
This is the coaching side of things now.
Yeah, it takes experience. Like a coach, you have it's like you have your general manager, your head coach, and so forth from there, and then they run the team, and your assistant coach, and all that good stuff. But the thing is that how do we do that? It just takes it through the tough times. It's experience. Okay. It really is experience. I'm really trying to think of the words, but it takes experience because you're going to have those days. Certainly. And you got to know how to rebuild. Yep. Like I said, it's a high turnover rate industry, especially with our employees. Usually if you lose an employee, you end up losing a client too. And it could hit you like that. So how do you rebuild from that? That's when you go back to the board. It's just like football games. You lose. If you lose to a team, well, you got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what plays you got to play to make it happen to win next time. So we do a lot of that. That's when we go back to our everyday meetings that we have, go back to the drawing board, try to figure out and do our analytic work, find out root cause analysis that have occurred, and really get into the work of why did this happen, why did it occur, and what can we do to make things better. So it takes a lot of experience to get there, and everybody's going to have their own experience on that. Well,
it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of courage.
Too. Yes.
It takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of stamina, mental and physical and emotional on your part.
Yeah.
How do you find that energy through these ups and downs, through these responsibilities, through the rigors of a day? How do you find that personally as this director of operations to get yourself out of bed, to get your planning started, to meet with your assistant coaches, to meet with your team? Where does that catalyst come from on a daily basis?
Well, I can say this. Like I said, I can say that fitness helps.
Wellness, okay.
Wellness, your health and wellness is very important. And taking time out for yourself too, because any business can be stressful, and when you have a pressured position as the director of operations, that can cause a lot of stress. So making sure that health-wise you're up to par, maybe 1 or 2 times in the gym. I try my best. I'm not the most big gym person, but at least trying to keep yourself in some type of fitness manner, to me, helps get along the day, so we're not sluggish, making sure that we're keeping up on nutrition and those things as well to keep ourselves up to par and not sluggish and mentality clear, or mental airways clear.
Yeah. And then the clarity there.
Yeah.
Talking about wellness and nutrition and even rest.
Yes,
even
rest.
Things we have to talk about with our staff. What is the vision? Maybe near term, short term, long term, but what comes to mind? What is the vision for Cherished Homes as you move forward into the next 3 to 5 years or beyond?
The vision is to try to work more with the community and just try to spread the fact that there are trying to, connect the bridge of caregivers, good caregivers, to individuals who are under Medicaid, who need assistance or private pay, anybody who's in the community that is disabled veterans, elderly, who's needing assistance. And if we can just bridge that gap as much as we can on a big parameter, I think we're successfully doing our part with the community.
Good. And you talk community from a business standpoint, from a growth standpoint, and a vision standpoint. On a lighter note, what have you done in the community to kind of give back or kind of get your employees out or get some community engagement, volunteerism? What are some of the things that come to mind there?
Well, we are still trying to ramp those things up
Okay.
right now. But what we have done, and we really don't speak much on it,
Okay.
but we're trying to get to that point of just being more involved in the community. We try to give to certain organizations when we can and stuff like that. But we also give to our clients too, especially for the month of November. We didn't know which way it was going to go for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So we tried to make sure, and a lot of our folks, are not able to get out the house and move around the way that they would like. So we tried to give bags of groceries to individuals. And we're starting off small, but hopefully we can make it to that level of being able to help out a little bit more.
Well, certainly the sign of a successful, accredited business, giving back as we talked. And, on that very theme, you talked community, we really harped on trust early with the team members and with the clients. But trust, Cherished Home Service, BBB, what has this relationship meant to you since the time of accreditation?
Yeah, so since 2021, it means a lot. I was a little girl coming up seeing BBB on companies, and I was like, what is that? And then when you start getting older and understanding what it is, you understand that it means serious business. So we knew that we had to reach out to BBB and get ourselves accredited, because we know once you have that seal, it is something that means that you're a trusted provider or a trusted business. So we knew the seriousness of it. We knew that being part of BBB was something that we needed to have, and we have it on our website. We try to make sure we keep up with it, because it's important to have. It shows that we are trusted providers, and that's what we try to show ourselves to be on every aspect of everything.
That certainly means a lot to us. Cherished Home, with a number of other thousands of businesses in this service area who have been accredited, this is the lifeblood of our BBB and BBBs across the country, businesses such as yours. So our hats are off to you. To kind of conclude or start to wind down, just from a general standpoint, you've talked all these different categories so intelligently, such an accomplished business leader. What are some of the things that come to mind as it relates to advice you would give to an aspiring business leader, both for this industry or maybe some other industry?
Yeah, well, the thing is if you're we started from the ground up. Okay. That's one thing, and a lot of us had to put in a lot of work. So, starting out, just get your mindset right. Know that you're going to have to put your boots on the ground and get your boots a little dirty.
That's right.
And then, eventually, if you just keep at it, I'll always incorporate this. Even our administrators right now, they're working the phones right now, but it was never that way. Okay? That came down the road. But they're letting individuals know within our personal care caregivers that you got to keep your health up. Make sure it's flu season right now. Make sure that you're keeping yourself hydrated. Make sure that you're, seeing your doctor, getting your flu shots, whatever it is. Just keep yourself together, because that is important, even for a personal care aide coming to work and working. That's success, right? So as a business owner, keeping yourself healthy and all that other stuff, just to be able to produce and do what you need to do as a business owner, that's successful. So, I hope that's helpful, but yeah, that's the truth. That's what we can, say.
Well, it starts with the wellness of it.
Yes, it really does.
A person may want like this professional development topic or answer or certain subject that they want to speak on, and that's great. But if you're not well, you're not rested, you're not in mental position, you use the word positioning. If you're not in a mental or a wellness position to be successful, what's going to happen to the rest of the functions and tasks that you have to do and the rest of the people? So keeping yourself in a position to win from wellness, which we oftentimes forget about, is so vital. And it's the successful leaders we've had here on this show have said that over and over and over again. It's a reoccurring theme. You look at all these academic accomplishments and professional accomplishments, but at the top of that pile, they take care of themselves first.
Yep. That's where it starts.
So, Brandi, we just can't thank you enough for your investment of time and your talent and your giving back, both just by your experience and telling us about Cherished Home. Cherished Home's continued accreditation and continued impact in the community. And we just applaud and celebrate your leadership.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for being a part of our show today.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.